Jersey Beer Guys podcast is brought to you by White Eagle Liquor Store, 651 St. Mihiel Drive, Riverside, New Jersey. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram to see all their specials and what new craft beers they have in stock. They're also brought to you by Beer Belly Brew Tours. Contact them at beerbellybrewtours@gmail.com or visit their website at www.beerbellybrewtours.com to see what tours they're running or to customize your very own tour. The Thirsty Quaker is located at 492 Monmouth Street, Jersey City, New Jersey. Shop for your homebrew supplies or check out the site for a list of all the new beers that they have at thirstyquaker.com.
What you are about to hear is bizarre, unsettling, and riveting.
20 seconds to self-destruct.
You are a very well-respected journalist in the craft beer industry. You know that, don't you?
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Alcohol is a way of life. Alcohol is my way of life, and I aim to keep it.
10 seconds to self-destruct.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Welcome to the party, pal!
All right, guys, this is the special addition to the regular Jersey Beer Guys. Amy's not here to say.
I was going to do and a girl,
and she's not here to say and a girl, so we can't have that. So first time ever, there's no and a girl to it. So
we'll plug that in there. We'll plug it in
a
there.
Female voice. So it's just me and Eric tonight, and we're talking with Harry from Harry. What is the X-Beerimental? Is the name of your brewery?
Yes, X-Beerimental.
So what do you? I see you all over Instagram now, and I see your cans. I love your art on your cans, and you're doing a lot of different and new stuff. So, what are you trying to get are you up and running, or are you just trying to get something up and running?
So I'm currently in planning. I was looking for locations, kind of a few months before COVID hit.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, and I decided to just kind of back off my look for my search and see what's going to happen after all this kind of clears.
Right.
And so instead of just not doing anything, I decided, you know what? Technically, I'm a home brewer right now, so I can ship my beer and get it into people's hands and kind of get a feeling for what people think about my beer.
That's awesome.
And so that's kind of been my approach right now, is just test out the market, see how people respond to my beer.
Okay. So so
you almost get immediate feedback that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
So the box arrived the other day with 4 cans in it, and my daughter's like, "What is that?" I said, "That's yeast samples." And she looked at it, and I said, "Well, it's beer." I said, "But I don't think you can send beer in the mail." I said, "So they're yeast samples
labeled as."
Yeah.
I actually where I work currently, they let me just use their UPS and ship. So I ship it as olive oil.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Technically what it is. Because they asked for like a classification on what it is.
Okay. So, well, the 4 beers you sent me are, you sounded like you're from London, which is an English IPA with burdock root. Mm-hmm. It's 8%. So what is burdock root?
So burdock root is it's a very British ingredient they use a lot in teas there in England, and it's kind of a earthy, sweet bitterness to it. It's hard to explain if you've never really tasted it, but you'll definitely get an interesting note on top of all the nice malty grains used in the bill.
Okay.
And it's a big beer too at 8.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
So, the next beer we have here is it's olive. It's olive.
So it's alive. It's an olive sour. It's alive. There's a play on words.
Okay. Alive. Okay.
Yep.
And so it's an olive sour ale.
Yes. So.
Wow. So
another thing, if you read up on me, if you look on my Untappd page on a lot of my beers, I like to interpret different foods in my beers.
Okay.
And get different profiles by using different interesting ingredients. So that's a part of my my fruited sour series, except all the fruits I'm using are some things you don't even realize are fruits. like an olive. I have a tomato. I have a pickle. All being fruits, but not your usual fruits that you would see out in the market.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen like a cucumber gosa around.
Yep.
A lot of people are doing them, and they're actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how refreshing they are. And then the next one here is the Corrupt Carrot. It's a smoked rye IPA with carrot.
Yep.
So there you are using fruit again. Not fruit. It's a vegetable.
Vegetable this time.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good for you. Helps your eyesight.
We won't need glasses.
So when you're seeing double at the end of the night, you see it better.
Exactly. You see it better.
It's clear.
And yeah, that's kind of my love of cooking. So I really love carrots and how carrots can lend a nice sweetness to different dishes. So that was kind of my idea with the smoke, the smoky, the sweet, and I'm a big fan of rye. I love rye beers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rye beers are good. I've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot more people doing them. Mm-hmm. I guess more people are getting a taste for them, so they're putting them out there.
Yep.
Okay, so the last one here, this is the one I want to try right now, Eric. Is
Pop.
Wolfenstout. It's a white stout with coffee, fruit, and cocoa, and coffee. Is it with coffee, fruit, plus cocoa, plus coffee?
Yeah, so this comes around where I was kind of trying. I wanted to use the whole life cycle of a coffee bean.
Okay.
So I actually use the fruit that the coffee is grown in, and then I also age it on top of coffee in nibs.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
It's
pouring
got a decent color.
Yeah, it's really light, and it's a stout.
It is.
It's a white golden stout is what it's considered.
Okay. That's good. And it's 7.5%, 32 IBU.
Yeah, that's got a good, I don't know if I could say an earthy taste to it.
And it's fresh, too. Canned on 7/12.
Damn. Fresh beer.
Fresh. Yeah. You canned that the day you sent it to me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Damn. Very good.
Yeah, that is good. I like that. That is... And, you're sitting there drinking a stout, and it's not heavy or anything now. Will beer like this, as it gets warmer, will its flavors change like other stouts do?
Yeah, with this one, I wouldn't say it's as much as a normal stout. You might get a little more of the fruity, from the fruitiness from the coffee.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, the coffee and a little bit. Yeah. Huh.
All I know is it's the first beer I had in a week, and it's really good.
Amateur.
Well, when you get old, and
first beer today. Come on.
When you're old and you're working in the heat, you kind of hydrate more, than you do. You don't hydrate with alcohol anymore. You hydrate with water, as some people would say, or Gatorade,
Coors Light.
Yeah. Just I wish they would make a Pedialyte beer, and that would be all right. I could do both at one time. So now, you said you were looking for spots. We're going to double back to this. You were looking for spots, but you gave up. Where are you kind of looking at?
So I'm currently looking North Jersey. I'm based out of Garfield.
Okay.
It's up. I'm close to the city, like about 20 minutes from the city.
Okay.
But I was actually looking in Paterson, New Jersey.
All right.
It's kind of a long story, but they're trying to kind of rebuild parts of it, and they're turning some of it into a smart city.
Okay.
And so my dad's actually working on the project, and they're looking to bring in some younger people, and always a good way to bring in is putting up a brewery. So and that brings in nice restaurants, and so they're trying to fix it up a bit. And to me, the history there is amazing. Paterson's the first industrial city in America.
Okay.
Some of the first breweries in America existed in Paterson, 1800s. There was some German breweries that ended up merging. I forgot the name of it. And so I just thought the history there is really cool, and I think it'd be a cool way to bring beer into it. Because for me, one of my loves isn't just beer, but beer history. Right. And I've always been fascinated by how beer has affected different cultures over the years. So is that a squeaky toy here in the background? Yeah, so that's my dog. Okay. And of course, when you get off the phone, he's not going to play with that toy. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's trying to get my attention. Exactly. Yeah, I rescued him a couple years ago. That's Barley, the brew dog. Barley the brew dog. There you go. That's a good name. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, one good thing about going into Paterson when it's new like that is you could probably get like favorable rates or a favorable place to be at. Yep. And there's plenty of old industrial buildings there that are just empty, and have been empty. Like we see a lot of times the brewery comes in and it sort of kind of revitalizes and helps with the build up of the town or exactly whatever it's doing kind of deal. And we've seen that a couple times. Yeah, and that's been across the country. I mean that model has worked for towns. I mean there's write-ups all across the country about that. Yeah, the Main Street Brewery and stuff like that. And one good thing too is if you get a spot there, you could probably get a small spot, but you'll be able to expand if hopefully that goes well for you. Yep. Which by drinking your first beer, it should go well for you. Thank you. I'm enjoying this one. I don't know, Eric, which is the next beer we're going to get to? You picked the next one. I like the carrot. I want to try the carrot one. But okay. All right. Well, I know you're not into sour, so that'll be for me. Yeah, I'll taste it though, but it's not overly sour. On the sour scale. It's mellow and it dies out. It doesn't stay with you. Okay. Can you? Hey, Eric. Oh, it's actually a rye beer, a smoked rye. Okay. Yeah. How far away does that have to be for you to read that? I gotta get longer arms. They make glasses, brother. I got glasses. They're called beer goggles. Come on. Well, drink the carrot and you won't need your glasses, right? Oh man, I'm on my way to 20/20 vision with this. Oh my god. Yeah. Can you tell that we're trying not to be real serious? Yes. Yeah. I don't know if you listen to any of our shows or not, but we're not. Don't try to be serious. We try to show. No, I'm absolutely not. I'm not serious. Yeah. I'm serious about beer, but not life. Right. Exactly. You should be having fun while you're drinking a beer. We have a good time. And I did get to listen to a few of your podcasts. So you did. So we apologize now. He used them as a sleep aid. Yeah. So he's probably kind of glad that Amy's not here tonight, so he doesn't have to. Yeah, really. Listen to Amy. See, I can say that because she doesn't listen either. It's funny because I just basically got in touch with her recently because I just actually joined up with the New Jersey Brewers Association. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, was that the episode with Alexis Deegan on there? Yes. Okay, she got a hold of Alexis. Yes. Okay. Great person. Yep. Yeah, awesome. Really nice. And I think that's one of the things I've loved about actually all of the New Jersey brewers I've met, really, is, I've sat down and talked for hours with a bunch of them. I mean, when the brewery's closed, they've invited me in. Elementary up here, Mike from over in Elementary, he brought me in on like a Wednesday night, and I sat there for like 2 hours to talk about, all right, how do you start a brewery? Oh shit! Okay, what do you need to do? Like what all that stuff. And everyone's been so awesome with all that. There's open arms, There's things you don't want to do. Yeah, that's the things you want to hear. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Things that you think you want to do, and then you find out that that's not going to work, or that's not going to be your thing. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to stay up with you about what you're doing and how your process is going. You'll have to touch base with us. And, absolutely. Every once in a while when we get an episode out, we'll have to call and talk to you and find out what was going on. Or come visit. And then when it's ready, come visit. Well, yeah, if the COVID. Definitely. Crap. Well, never mind. All right, sorry. This isn't going to last. This can't last forever, can it? Have mask will travel. I mean, if it does, we're all in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, so you said you've stopped it now. You're not looking, and what? You're just perfecting your home brew recipes. Exactly. I'm brewing every week I'm brewing, I'm learning, I'm reading. You know, the only way to learn about beer and brewing beer is just to keep brewing. Every batch is a new experience. You learn something new. You know, and my thing is I learn through failures, right? You mess up a batch and then and it happens.
Right.
So I've been trying a lot of different styles. I've been going with brewing. You know, I tried that sour you have there was my first kettle sour because I never did it before. You know, just different methods of brewing. So I've just been learning and absorbing, and that's really it.
Do you have a favorite style that you like to brew, or?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite style to brew, but I think my favorite types of styles are the historic styles.
Okay.
So I mean, a Goes is technically a historic style. I really enjoy. I have a smoked, which you talked about. Was it Core 3 Brewing? Core 3 Brewing.
Yep. Core 3.
Yeah.
The Grodzki.
Yep.
So I was surprised when he mentioned that because I brewed one of those like last year for the first time. I was like, this is such a cool style of beer. It's just like a really low percent smoked wheat beer. That's just like it's refreshing.
Yeah, it was a very good beer.
Yeah, good easy drinking beer. Yeah.
What else? And then I guess I'll tell you I don't brew a lot of IPAs.
Okay.
I'm not a hophead. I do like my IPAs. I do like drinking them. I just prefer not to brew them.
Right.
And I'm more of a yeast. I consider myself a yeast head. I like experimenting with different yeast strains and seeing how a yeast strain can change your whole beer essentially.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And so that's why I do brew a lot of gruits.
Okay.
So like no hops at all in the beer.
Okay.
I think I've only had one of them once.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Yeah.
They're very rare. They're not crazy easy to brew, but they're just it's cool because to me it's like, you know, obviously New England IPAs are the hot commodity nowadays. But beer was around before hops. The beer existed before hops.
Right.
So that's why I like to brew those beers to just kind of be like, here's kind of what a beer would have tasted like before all these hops. Because hops are awesome. I mean, hops can create such an interesting profile in a beer. But what if you didn't use hops? What would a beer taste like?
What would it? Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't put hops in it right away. What was it? Basically, they said it was just water that fermented inside of some fruit or something, or grain.
Yeah, I mean, going way back, it was more of a mead style, and then it kind of turned into like herbal medicine. So in a way, where they were throwing in like wormwood and all these other flowers and plants that they say, it's going to cure your blindness, right? And that was kind of like what the beer was medicine at one point.
Right.
Safer than drinking water.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stick with the carrot beer because I'm going to get better eyesight.
Yeah.
But next time I talk to you, man, it's going to be like, woo.
Get more of that. Make sure that's on tap when Eric comes up.
It's actually it has a good like an aftertaste, just kind of, or finish, I want to say. I like it.
Yeah, so I originally brewed that and put way too much smoked malt in it, and it was kind of like smoking a cigarette almost.
Oh, that's a lot there too.
And that's actually an IPA also with carrot. Yeah.
Right, so I do brew a couple IPAs, but most of them are more like traditional IPAs. You're not going to get like any crazy hop profiles from them. They're going to be more of like just bittering agents in the beer.
Right, I didn't even get that, even open up the can and the smell wasn't very, hoppy at all. Surprised me. Actually, I had to go back to the label to read it. And actually like, okay, it's an IPA.
So,
all right.
So no dry hopping, none of that.
What kind of I guess I want to say system or home brewing type stuff are you using at home? Talk to us a little bit about the equipment that you got at home.
So right now I'm using, it's a Grainfather 10-gallon system, all electric. So I do anything from a 5-gallon batch up to about a 7-gallon batch. And then I recently invested in a glycol chiller.
Whoa.
So I have, it's actually a home brew. It was a Kickstarter. This one company came out with a while ago. And so I'm able to lager now. So I did lager my first couple beers. Because again, I think that's another style that's hated for some reason and not respected enough.
Okay.
It's the purest of beers, and it's one of the hardest beers to brew.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So how much of the garage is it taking over, or are you still in the kitchen, or?
It's in my living room and kitchen.
Nice.
So my house is a brewery. I have about 5 fermenters. It's a constant mess in my house.
Right. As long as they don't use those heat sensors and think you're growing like a marijuana or something,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's only beer, guys. Come on.
His whatchamacallit's off the chart. His electric bill's off the chart. So
it is.
Being you're right at home doing this, how often are you brewing?
I'm brewing every weekend at this point. Sometimes twice a weekend. Sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, I'm brewing. It's nonstop. Especially everyone on Instagram has been hitting me up, and it's just the requests keep coming in.
Well, you put that on Instagram, hit you up.
Yeah.
Are you regretting that one?
Not really, because the feedback's been amazing and the support's been amazing, and people really. I'll tell you this: I was extremely scared putting my beer out there.
Right.
Because a lot of people are very single-minded. A lot of people only think beer should only taste one way. I had many of arguments with friends about, they'll drink a beer and they're like, that's not what it's supposed to taste like. I'm like, well, that's what craft beer to me is all about.
Right.
It's not just brewing at a smaller scale. It's about innovation and doing something different. The guys like Dogfish Head and the guys like Sam Adams years ago when craft beer wasn't big, people thought they were crazy in what they were doing. And that's what I kind of wanted to get back to with craft beer, because to me, I understand, the market, and you gotta sell a lot of beer to make money, and you're a business. But there's just to me, I was getting bored of the market.
Huh. Okay. What do you under Instagram? What are you under? X-Beer? X-Beerimental?
X-Beer_New Jersey.
Okay. All right.
NJ.
All right.
If you just search X-Beerimental, it'll.
Checking it out right now.
Oh, yeah, because you got a real phone now.
Got a real phone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Amy?
I just released my website too this week.
Okay, and what's the address on that?
Yeah, give us.
That's xbeerimental.com. So that's that has a couple of my current logos, my artwork that I have, some of my beer creations, and then a link to like my Untapped and everything.
Cool.
I got to totally get off the subject. I got a text from Amy. She's like, when are you doing the podcast?
Who?
She said, hey, yeah. She said, what time are you doing the podcast? I said, now. She goes, oh, I was going to call in and say, and a girl.
You blew it, hon. Sorry.
Yeah. So I said, you can. I said, call the studio line. She doesn't know the studio line. So I did that on purpose. So yeah, call into the studio. You'll be fine. But no, I said, you want me to call you? And she hasn't answered me back because I can just add her to this call and be good. But if she don't get back, we're going to be done with it.
Yeah, she'll be all right.
Yeah.
She'll live.
Yeah.
Which one you want to try next? What are you up for?
I'm going to save them for the rest of the folks.
The folks? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to save them with the group. So when we get together, we'll try some of his beer.
Okay, and put that in there. Okay, well, I'm going to sip a little bit on the carrot juice here.
Well, Eric, you can hit him up on Instagram as the Hopped Up Network, because Eric owns a network of craft beer podcasts from across the country. So,
awesome.
So after this, get with Eric And we can hook you up with a couple of the shows. I'm sure that would probably like to try some of your beer.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, definitely.
I'll hit you up on Instagram and everything, and give you the details and everything. But
yeah, we'll get you hooked up with a couple shows from other side of the country or other parts of the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys in Massachusetts, there's guys Florida,
awesome.
Texas.
Texas definitely be interested all over.
I actually talked to these guys, best friend podcast in the world.
Okay.
They're in PA. Two awesome guys. They reached out to me. They popped my beer podcast cherry. I've never done any one of these.
It's unfortunately it's tough with what's going on in the world now.
Yep.
With everybody trying to do the Zooms and the phone interviews and stuff like that. I mean, we miss going to the spots and talking to the people.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's always better seeing people in person.
Well, we would just for the first time in a couple weeks ago, the four of us sat down inside the studio and talked. And because we were doing Zoom, and we did a phone call the first time, and that was fine. And I said, everybody's doing Zoom. Let me do Zoom because I want to do video. I want to add a video component to the podcast. And I just can't stand Zoom. Just can't do it.
It's not personal. It's not.
There's too much of a delay.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. So we stopped doing that.
I when I texted on Instagram originally, I've done Skype.
Okay.
And it worked out. It worked out decently.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I stuck to the Zoom. We did a FaceTime amongst ourselves one time, and of course, idiot me didn't record it. So
I like doing the field trips. I like going and
absolutely.
Because you think of more things when you're sitting there asking the questions and talking to the people and you get kind of draw more out of them, kind of deal.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually went to out for the first time in these 4 months.
Where'd you go?
Week it's a local spot in Saddlebrook here. It's called Plank Pizza, and they have like 40 beers on tap of local.
Damn. Okay.
And they do sourdough flatbreads.
Okay.
I was just happy that they were open with good guys that own the place, and it's just they've been closed this whole time. They weren't even doing takeout.
Oof. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, we're gonna have to see what kind of breweries will be the strongest and who's gonna survive and
yeah. I was happy to see the state stepping up a little bit to help breweries.
Yeah.
Because it's really one of the worst states in the country for breweries.
True. I mean, even the eateries and things like that are going to be serving the beer. I mean, what happens come this fall when it's 40 degrees out and you can't go sit out in a tent?
I know.
I think he's going to have to. I think New Jersey's we're holding our own compared to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have to allow indoor dining soon.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to, as he calls them, the knuckleheads. You're just going to have to crack down on the knuckleheads.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me.
Right.
When he was
you're seeing it up north with you. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to open, and he said we're opening, and then he takes that back.
Right.
Because,
2 days before,
right before the holiday, even.
Because a couple of bars were not following the rules. Well, then hit those bars.
Exactly.
Take their liquor license away.
Well,
do something like that.
Well, not to get political, but he should have cracked down with state police, ABC, health, whoever could have cracked down on them. Because one guy down here, he owned a diner. He goes, listen, nobody gets up with their plate of eggs and bacon and walks around talking to other people.
No.
So why am I punished for what they're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all these restaurants bought all this food to prepare for this.
Yep, hired their staff and everything. And
yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. We got to get back to something a little more normal now. I don't think I've been out to a brewery since they opened back up and allowed outdoor seating.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not either. Kind of when this first broke out and they were shutting everything down, I went out right when they opened to pick up some takeout at some breweries.
Right.
At some local spots, but I just haven't really gone out.
Have you done any distribution or anything with your beers to get them out there?
It's just shipping them.
Just word of mouth. Okay.
Just word. So it's been word of mouth. It's been. I did the podcasts. It's been really. It's awesome that social media is so easy to get your word out.
Okay. Right.
I mean, so like the guys in PA who I did the podcast with, they literally were like, you were just popping up across the board in our news feed. So it was like, they reached out to me. So it's like, I honestly haven't had to do much work. I've let the beer speak for itself, and people have responded to loving it. So,
how long have you been doing this? I mean, when did you start?
I started shipping the beer so 2 months ago. Okay, all right. 2.5 months ago. Before that, it was more just like friends and family and coworkers.
A lot of good friends.
Yeah.
I totally off the wall question here. Now you're up there. Can you in your living room now, in your dining room or in your spare room? Do you have? Are you barrel aging anything?
So I do have a barrel. I've never barrel aged anything.
Okay.
I bought from a local spot here, Jersey Spirits. I bought one of their barrels a while ago. I want to say it was at least 8 months ago, and I haven't pulled the trigger to put anything in it yet because I just never done it. I don't really know much about it, and I'm just like, I don't want to ruin the barrels.
I guess so, because it's probably a pretty penny for that barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't crazy, but yeah, it was more than if you're going to just buy a one for decoration. It's a small barrel.
You're not going to make a planter out of it later. Yeah.
No, it's only a 6-gallon barrel.
Okay.
So it's one of the small ones.
All right. So, but yeah, you don't want to mess it up. You're just looking for the right beer to put in it, or somebody to guide you on what to do with it.
I think I'm going to do a sour. I think I'm going to do like a Brett or something like that in there.
Okay.
What kind of plans you got coming up? I'm going to say for the fall coming up or anything. You got any plans for like your future beers or like stuff you're thinking about?
So right now, I'm going to actually start messing with some of the Quebec strains.
Okay.
Because they're pretty cool and crazy that you can ferment 100 degrees.
Okay. You do like the history.
Yes. Love the history. But also, I'm just continuing to brew my staples as well.
Okay. Do you have a favorite like go-to beer?
My number one favorite beer is my Beat Down Red Ale.
Okay.
And that is a red ale brewed with beets, and it's just I love it. It's awesome.
I was going to say, with a name like that,
Beat Down.
It's beat. I'm not thinking it was fisticuffs or a beat down like that. I immediately went to that's got beets in it.
Yep. So you kind of get like the earthiness that and then I use some hops that add a little fruitiness to it. So it's a really good beer.
Do you try and source local as far as getting your ingredients and stuff like that, or
some stuff I do get local. Most of it is. I use some weird stuff too, so I use some like interesting powders and other stuff like that. But like when it comes to like coffee, fruits and stuff, like I'll source them local. The coffee in the Wolfenstout was actually my friend Al, who does roasting his own coffee.
Okay. Does he have a business, or he's just doing it the roasting?
Yeah, okay. he has a business. So yeah, just been having fun with it.
That's the thing, man. Have fun, enjoy it.
That's what you got to do, because pretty soon when you're ready to do your brewery, it's going to be all work.
All work.
Yeah, exactly.
All work.
Yeah,
but you'll be smiling.
I'm trying to start really small. So I'm calling myself Pico.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like Pico.
And,
then my Spanish kicked in.
Yeah, it's 1 to 2 barrels max.
Right.
Just because with my stuff is more of a risk, so I'm trying to minimize that risk.
Okay. Yeah.
just to see if the market will hold on buying my beer.
Well, what's your feedback been so far? I mean, everybody's loving what you got, or I mean,
yeah, everyone. I haven't had a bad review.
Okay. Well, don't tell us about it.
I get a lot of people. I tell them to go on Untapped. I'm not a huge Untapped guy.
Right.
Untapped, I think kind of ruined the beer market a little bit.
Yeah, because you kind of read, like, hey, I hate this beer, but then again, I don't like IPAs. And,
I don't drink IPAs, but I drank this IPA and I hate it, so I give it one.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Well, then why did you drink it if you don't like IPAs?
Yeah, it's
or you can't judge it.
I've seen even people say I'm allergic to peanut butter, and I drank a peanut butter stout.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick it up?
Okay, why'd you drink a peanut butter stout? But,
exactly. You had jelly.
Everyone thinks they're a professional taster. I mean, I don't even consider myself with an amazing palate.
Right.
And even if I don't like a beer, if I appreciate what they're trying to do and they did what they were trying to do, I'm going to give them a good score.
Right. Right.
I'm going to give them a positive review. But yeah, everyone's really just getting what I'm trying to do, and that's been the biggest thing.
Well, like we do here, we will never publicly criticize anybody or another brewery.
No,
because everybody's trying their best. But when we talk to people, if we don't like their stuff, especially Amy, she's one to tell you she doesn't like it.
but we're learning too.
But most beers we drink are pretty good. There's only a couple beers that I drank that, like, I even said I drank them and I'm like, well, this really isn't my style.
Your style, but
so I'm not going to tell you how it is. I just don't like it.
I might like it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
absolutely. Everyone's got a different palate. Everyone's got a different palate.
Oh yeah, because you'll never catch me with a pumpkin beer. I used to say you'd never catch me with a sour beer. Now I'm on such a sour.
Now you're a sour kick, yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink IPAs anymore. I drink sours.
There's so many different types of sours out.
Oh yeah,
out there now. I mean,
and so many different ways to do IPAs too that you would taste it and you'd be like, wow, that's an IPA. Just like, like tasting yours. I had to, like I said, read the can. It was like, wow, okay, it is an IPA.
Yeah, I mean, you'll kind of get that same reaction with the you sound like you're from London, because it's a British IPA, which really isn't done much, and again, it doesn't have much of a aroma at all, and it's just slightly bitter.
So where are you getting your, I guess I want to say, inspirations in old time recipes or old style recipes, like just from reading, or?
Yeah, so also the science behind it.
Okay.
I really like implementing different grains to really bring out different flavors. So the mixture of the grain usage and then the yeast, you can really produce so many different types of flavors just from that alone. So the British IPA actually is just a British IPA because it uses all English grains.
Okay.
Which are some of my favorite. So it's like Golden Promise, Maris Otter, Vienna, Biscuit. It's just all these awesome, like sweeter, more biscuit tasting malts.
And no problem finding them.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Anyone can get all these grains. They're available on the homebrew level to the pro level.
Right. Okay.
Same thing with yeast now. Most yeast companies, because home brewing is so big, you can get every type of yeast.
And like when we talk to the guys that have started, just to interrupt you, when we talk to the guys that have started their businesses, a lot of them are home brewers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they get their start, just like yourself.
And I think actually the hardest thing to get is hops.
Competition wise, or
it's when you start out, you're not getting a hop contract.
Okay.
So hop, basically you go to these farms and you actually are saying, like, I'm going to buy like X amount of hops or guarantee hops, because for them, they need to make money, and it's a crop, so they don't really know how much they're going to produce.
It's almost like a hedge type kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And because it's competitive, because New England IPAs being so big, the amount of hops you use in a New England to dry hop alone is just, you're using so many hops.
Right. Yeah.
That's what makes the beer so expensive. And it's a legitimate hop market at this point where it's supply demand with
commodity.
Hops. Yeah, it really is. It's traded like a commodity.
Yeah.
A new hop comes out, and people go nuts for that hop. And the price skyrockets.
Wow.
I'm wondering if that slowed down any because of COVID. Because not as many people going out. I'm sure sales are down a little bit because people aren't going out. Not as many people can go out.
Yep.
So I imagine that everything slowed down, and maybe the prices are coming down a little bit.
I mean, I think also some of these breweries are just stuck with a lot of hops they're just not using.
Right.
So yeah, maybe it's possible. I haven't really checked the overall, but yeah. So my other inspiration comes. So it's history, culture, food, and science is kind of where everything comes from for me.
Right.
Okay.
And I've been a foodie my whole life. I love food. And to me, food and beer are very similar in how they affect cultures and how our cultures are built around them.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where, if you look at a lot of my beers, I'm implementing food into them because to me, you can get those characteristics like a hop, for instance, from these different foods, from these different vegetables and from fruits, and if you implement them correctly and you pair them with the right malts and yeasts.
Have you had any bad beers as far as like you tasting? Well, oh no, I'm not going to do that again.
Absolutely. I mean, the first beer I ever brewed was like that. I think when I say I started with a Mr. Beer kit, I think a lot of other home brewers and brewers alike will say they probably started somewhere with that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them do. Yeah. I got one sitting at home.
Yeah, they're atrocious. And I think they also keep people away from brewing because they brew that and they go, oh God, this is horrible. There's no way I'll ever brew a good beer. But it's like the worst place to start.
Okay.
For brewing. You're better off getting like a little better of a kit and buying basically they're like syrups, so they take the grains and they make your mash for you, and you buy that liquid and you kind of just boil it, add your hops, and you have beer.
Right. Your science part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're skipping some steps.
Yeah.
For you. So that was like the first beer I ever brewed. It was just terrible. Like you couldn't drink it. But I have had not as many as I thought I probably would at this point, bad batches, but more recently, what my one series I do, which is a bread ale series, they're gruits brewed with sourdough yeast, not beer yeast.
Right.
And so they're very like bready. And so I have a rye bread one. I have a couple other ones in the series, and I tried to do an everything bagel version of it. Except I used the everything bagel seasoning.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I used that, except that has garlic and onion in it, and it did not ferment well. It tasted awful.
Put that back in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Done with that.
I dumped that and got to go back to the books on that one. But that series I've been having a lot of fun with. It kind of comes back to how fermentation kind of was initially found.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was with someone accidentally leaving some bread out in some water outside, and all the natural bacteria in the air came down and fermented that liquid. And someone drank it and went, ooh, I feel weird.
Yeah, the long ships, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of came from that, and I was like, you know what, kind of crossing bread and beer together just makes sense because they're both fermented.
Yep.
How was your beer over there, Eric?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both grabbed our one. I finished off the white stout, and he's
I'm working on the Yeah,
the carrot.
Yeah, the carrot.
Carrot's the one. So
I'm starting to see better.
Yeah, we're saving the other two for when the rest of the gang is here. We're going to save that. Hopefully, we'll get with them in the next week or two, and
awesome.
We'll drink that. But Harry, we're going to start wrapping it up. I just wanted to I want to thank you so much for sending us the beer and for sitting down and talking with us. And
thanks for having me on.
Not at all. It was our pleasure. We look forward to we're going to stay updated with you to see how your progress
we
going.
Want to see you grow, man.
But everybody can reach you on Instagram. Now you on Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and then also you can contact me through my website. There's a contact us if you want to do it that way.
Okay.
Any of those ways, feel free.
All right,
reach out.
Give us
Any questions?
Give us a couple plugs on is it experimentalbeer.com? What is the site itself?
Yep. So you can find me on X-Beerimental.com. Instagram, it's X-Beer_NJ.
Okay.
And Facebook, if you just search X-Beerimental Brewing,
awesome.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Cool. Is this you on the label by any chance?
No, it is not me.
I thought I'd ask.
It is not me. I can't grow a glorious beard like that.
I was going to say he looks like a hippie. So,
mad scientist.
All right, thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us.
Man.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
All right, thank you, Harry.
The Jersey Beer Guys
and a Girl
is hosted by Rob Talley
and Amy Diamond,
along with Eric Bracken and Ian Talley. It's produced and edited by Richard Rabing.
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Jersey Beer Guys 1 or Instagram at Jersey Beer Guys.
Thanks for listening, and remember, try something Jersey.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.